Hello and welcome to Mr. Haas's Big 15 Help videos. Okay, this is the one I've been getting most questions on. It is our addition and subtraction of mixed numbers. We're going to work on problem 9 today. Okay, so problem 9 is an addition of mixed numbers. And a mixed number is nothing more than a whole number and a fraction. So our problem is 3 1/2 plus 2 3/4. Okay. We can't add these fractions because they have to have what's called a common denominator. So our first step is to get a common denominator. If I were to look for a number that I can multiply these both by, in other words, what is the smallest number that both of these are? Well, let's think. If I multiply 2 times 2, well, 2 times 1 is 2, then 4, then 6, then 8, then 10. Well, I'm going to stop there because let's just take a break. But that's how you would go about thinking it. Now for the 4 times 1 is 4. Wait a minute, I can stop. Well, this would be 8, and then 12, and then 16, right? Just multiples. I have 2 of the same number in common. So a denominator is the lower one. This is called the denominator. This is the numerator. Okay, so the denominators, I can make them both 4. All right, I can add 4s together because they're the same. That's like saying I can, it's like trying to add nickels and pennies. You can't tell how many pennies or nickels you've got because, darn it, a nickel's worth 5 of those. So, anyway, so we have 3, and we're going to put a 4 down here because that's what we're trying to get. This isn't going to change. In this problem, they were nice to us with this problem. We're not going to have to change it. So this, because we've got the 4 already there. What number did I have to multiply this 2 by to get to 4? Well, I had to multiply by 2, didn't I? Well, if you do that, for us to have equivalent fractions, in other words, for this to be the same value, I have to do to the top, the numerator, what I did to the denominator. Since I multiplied this by 2, I have to multiply that by 2. 1 times 2, therefore, is going to be 2/4. 1/2 is an equivalent fraction to 2/4. Okay, that's our first step. We now have equivalent fractions with common denominators. Sometimes you're going to have to do both of them, and you may find that it's going to be a much bigger number. So now we have fourths. We can combine those. I'm going to combine these two fractions. We're going to ignore the whole numbers. Whole numbers are easy. We can do that later. So I have 2/4 plus 3/4. Well, that gives me 5/4. That's an improper fraction. You can't have that. But you know what that equals? That equals 1 1/4. You take away 4 from the bottom, or from the top, excuse me, and you're left with 1. 4/4 equals 1, right? Any number on top of itself equals 1. Like if I had 7/7, that equals 1. If I had 15 over 15, that equals 1. So you just subtract the denominator from the numerator, and whatever's left goes up on top of the numerator position, and we get a number 1 here. So I have 1 1/4. Now it's time to add my whole numbers. 3 plus 2, well, that's going to equal 5. But let's not forget our fractions here. We had 1 1/4. When we combine those, 5 plus 1/4, we get 6 1/4. That is our answer to this problem. If you want to try turning them into decimals, remember it's the top number divided by the bottom number. You would have 3.5 plus 2.75. Add those together, you have 6 and 0.25 which is the same as 6 1/4 in fractions. If I see this, more than likely, I'm going to think you either are a decimal fanatic or you're using a calculator. Okay, thanks.